everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer. The DRF race of the day, Thursday, October the 26th, race number 9 at Keeneland. We're going 5.5 on the turf. Let's take a look at this overflow field of first level allowance horses. These are 3-year-olds and up. There are some quick horses in this race, Mike. The 5 is Judge Davis, only 1 for 13 lifetime, but only recently switched to turf. And you can argue, kind of trip compromised in his 2 starts on the grass thus far.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't, maybe on paper, it doesn't necessarily look like he's really improved that much on turf with a 5th place finish at Monmouth and a 4th place finish at Kentucky Downs most recently. Dan, I think he ran pretty well in both of those races, though.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. We're going 5.5 furlongs here. And the 9 Congrats on 50 is a very fast horse, and he went fast to make the lead in his last start on turf. He might not have to work as hard to get to the front here, Mike.
I mean, we'll see, how this pace all plays out. Maybe the 9 makes the lead in here, Dan. I have a feeling there's one horse in this field who's not showing up on this pace projector. Horse who made 1 start in South America in December and is now in the Wesley Ward barn, number 4, Jefe de Obra. I have a feeling that horse is going to be on the lead in here.
That horse showed huge speed in his 1 and only start on dirt. Hunter Town, the number 1, is hoping for a fast pace. Here's his most recent start at Belterra Park. It's a first level allowance, and it's not like he had a ton of pace to run at here. 22 and 3 opening quarter. This horse on the lead is loose. Hunter Town's going to keep trying. He's no match for the winner, but he does make it at least relatively close at the wire. He's trying.
Yeah, he is trying. He does his very best in here, and he's going to make up late ground. He never looks like he's going to win, but he does make up late ground in there. It's at least worth pointing out the horse that won that race. That was his 17th career victory, I think. So that horse is okay. Listen, this horse has run twice on turf. He's been relatively close at the end of both of those races. They just happen not to be fast races.
Vocalize is the number 2. Hard to improve horses off of Linda Rice. Horatio DePaz has done a very good job in his 3 starts training the 2 Vocalize. Got a win right away when able to get this horse right out on the lead as a first-time gelding. Now, last time out, kind of lost position early, came with a run. So we know he's in form. We know he's versatile. He seems like a good fit at this level.
Yeah, he just shows up every single time. I think you have to respect that about this horse. We saw a lot of him in New York. Dan, personally, I never thought he was that good in New York, but he was okay. He showed up and ran his race just about every single time. His 3 races for DePaz, they're all good as well. Listen, his last 2 races, he ran fine in them. I didn't think he had any excuses in either one of those races, but he ran okay.
Zartaunus is the number 3, and this is a horse that's very lightly raced. It's likely we've yet to see his best. I wonder how he fits this race, though, from a class standpoint. I really respect the work Cherie DeVoe does. And this horse ran at Kentucky Downs last time out, so you could draw a line through it. Some horses, many horses, don't like Kentucky Downs. I wish I liked the Ellis race a little more.
Yeah, I kind of have all the same feelings about this horse. And he seems like he's okay to me. He's very lightly raced. He could certainly take a step forward here. Those Kentucky Downs races can go either way. If you didn't like it, you sort of have a built-in excuse. If you really did like it, you're really not sure how to evaluate it. I don't know. I feel like this horse does have to improve. On the other hand, he's 10-1 on the line for a really good barn.
Up next is the key to the race, the X Factor, the 4 Jefe de Obra. This is a Southern Hemisphere bred 3-year-old returning off of a lengthy layoff. He hasn't raced in 10 months. The 1 race on dirt was eye-catching to say the least. Fast out of the gate, blew that field out, and he's now with Wesley Ward, a super trainer off layoffs and obviously a super trainer with turf sprinters.
Yeah, exactly. And this horse is showing works back through the summer for Wesley Ward. So he's been here for a while to get acclimated. And now they're finally going to enter him and run him here. They are going to switch surfaces with him, which I found to be a little bit odd. Maybe he'll really handle it, though. There's a ton of dirt on the bottom of this pedigree, but real quality dirt. This horse actually has a really nice pedigree, and he was super impressive winning first time out. I mean, he was really fast.
Wesley did work this horse on the turf on October the 10th with one of his turf horses, Dominican Pioneer, a horse that earned a 98 Beyer speed figure, winning an allowance race at the Kentucky Downs meet. So Jefe de Obra kept up with that horse. Maybe he'll handle the turf. It's all about price. I have a feeling he'll take a lot of money in this race. Judge Davis is up next. He ran okay at Monmouth with a lot of traffic trouble in his turf debut. And then last time out of Kentucky Downs, he just had to kind of pick his way in between horses. And I think a horse like Judge Davis just needs a clean trip, needs the right pace set up, and he'll come running.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about him. I mean, his Kentucky Downs race last time was fine. He didn't have like terrible trouble in there, but he didn't get a perfect trip either. The race two back at Monmouth, listen, maybe it was just a bad field, Dan. He was going to win that race. He had tons of horse through the stretch. They tried to come up the inside with him. He didn't make it, and he got totally shut off. Or otherwise, he would have won his turf debut 2 starts back. And his dirt form is actually pretty interesting for Shug before. He never really panned out, but they tried to make this horse a 2-turn horse right away. And I think it's pretty clear from his PPs. Every time they cut him back to sprint and distance, he improved. I think this horse wants to go shorter distances.
The 6-star Slugger has only raced twice, and this race we're going to show you at Horseshoe Indianapolis is his first start in over a year, his first start on the grass, and he's going to overcome pace pressure. He was obviously well-trained and ready to go for this race. The 5th-place finisher came back to place in a maiden special with a 71 buyer. Not sure he's going to get this kind of trip if the 4 speed shows up, if the 9 speed shows up, but this horse is still somewhat promising.
Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with all that stuff. I mean, I don't really know what to make of him in here, but he's a big price, and maybe he just really, really likes the turf, Dan. I mean, it just kind of feels like there was a lot working against him in that last race. Switching to turf, moving up in class, big, long layoff. I still thought he ran pretty well.
The 7 Gilded Ruler is entered as the first also eligible in an allowance race on Wednesday at Keeneland. If he doesn't get in, he runs here for trainer Joe Sharp. This horse has only raced once on turf. I thought it was a pretty good effort 2 starts back at Churchill Downs, where he was sort of in behind horses down on the rail in the stretch. I don't think he wins with a clean trip, but that was a good field. Couple next out winners, and the winner of that race came back to win a stake at Canterbury with a 92 buyer.
Yeah, maybe all in all, he just faced even a better field than this one, and the only turf start so far. And I'm with you. I thought he ran fine in that race. I don't think he was going to win even with a clean trip, but it was a pretty good performance. He's just really versatile for a really good trainer. He's good on dirt. He's good on the all-weather. He's good on turf.
Flavien Prat picks up the mount on the number 8, Trust Daddy, a horse coming off of a short layoff, but he faced a good field last time out at Ellis Park. It was a race that didn't have a ton of pace. He fell behind, tried to make a run with a wide bid. Couple next out winners out of that race, the 3rd finisher scoring with an 89 buyer.
It'd be interesting to see, if nothing else, just what kind of price he is, Dan. He's the kind of horse who maybe he just never really panned out, but I feel like if he's some kind of big price, and I don't think 8-1 is a big enough price for me, but if he's a bigger price than that, maybe I'll throw him in there somewhere. I still remember him as a 2-year-old running in that Atlantic Beach, going 6 furlongs at Belmont, right off of a maiden win. I thought he just ran deceptively well that day, and it felt like he had a lot of potential that so far he hasn't really delivered on.
Hefe de Obra better have his running shoes on early if he's going to keep up with Congrats on 50. Let's watch Congrats on 50's turf debut, 3rd lifetime starts. Your eyes are not deceiving you. He stepped the opening quarter mile in 20-2, half in 43-2. This is a long stretch at Hawthorne, and Congrats on 50 is feeling the effects of his early efforts.
You can see how tired he's getting here in the late stages of this past the 8th pull. He's kind of all done here. He's looking for somewhere to lay down, and they're going to come in. They're going to run him over at the end of this race, but he did go really fast early in this race. He also went really fast when he wired maidens 1 start prior in a race that was rained off to the dirt.
I think a case could be made for the 10 Ruthless Rua. He is really unexposed, especially on turf. You look at his 2 turf races. One came off of a lengthy layoff at Ellis Park, and he likely needed that start. And last time out, he was at Kentucky Downs, couple next out winners, and he was really close to the pace. I think they're going to try to revert to some stalking tactics. My one concern, though, is while he is a stalker, maybe he'll be on a hard chase on the outside behind a solid pace. That could work against him.
Yeah, I kind of felt like this pace had a chance to be fast, and I'm not sure that helps this horse, especially from post 10. On the other hand, they're getting them back to a shorter distance here, which I think could really help. Out of Kentucky Downs, the only other turf sprint off the layoff at Ellis Park, and that was a good field. That LJ Zemo won that race. That filly's pretty good. This horse is very lightly raced with upside.
You could do a lot worse than take a Rusty Arnold trained turf sprinter at a big price. Yeah. This barn does very well with these kind of horses. Plenty of AEs in this race. I think the 11 Western Command is very, very logical for trainer Greg Foley. I think the 13 Bae Longu is the one I'd be most interested in, because I think this is just a horse that's kind of slowly maturing for Bill Mott. I still think this one could be something.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that horse does have some talent. I'm just not sure what his best distance is, Dan. They tried a bunch of different things with him. Maybe it will be the shorter turf sprints, although when they did that with him at Saratoga, I really didn't think he ran that well.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for our Thursday race of the day. You're going with Judge Davis. Again, Shug excels with these kind of horses that mature, get older. As you said, Shug tried to make this horse a Derby horse. He had him going 2 turns at 2 in stakes races, long layoff. Maybe he's just found himself in these shorter turf races.
Does feel like he's gotten better in his last two. I do like his turf form overall. Then I'll be honest, I handicapped the race before I saw the morning line. He's the morning line favorite. I would not bet him as the morning line favorite in here, but we'll see how it all plays out. I think he has a real chance in this race, though. I like him. I'm also very interested in that for the Wesley Ward shipper. I think that horse can run a little bit.
I think Gilded Ruler offers a little bit of value. I thought his only turf race was pretty good against a couple of next out winners. I think he is tactical enough to tuck in. He doesn't have to be out sprinted early. He'll be in good position turning for home. 5-4-7-2 for Mike, 7-5-2-3 for me. Thursday race of the day. Beautiful Keeneland. Good luck.